Elijah Wood. ¿Por qué sale Elijah Wood? ¿Qué pedo? Decía, gracias especiales a Elijah Wood. Es el actor de Frodo. Pero no entiendo por qué salió. Priscila Herrera, Sabique González, Eduardo Contreras, Rolando Lerma, son muchos latinos. Vargas. Estoy viendo cruces nazis ahí, svásticas. Ay. Me duele bien gacho. Manches, ya duró más que las de las películas. Jaja, bien aburrido, jaja, saludos. Nada más porque no se pueden saltar. Estos chinitos que
Chon chan 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 albion chan chan y todo así.
unos cubos así. Claro. Buenísimo. Yo soy muy Matsumoto. Creo que ya se va a acabar. No manches, todos los... Están saliendo todas las personas. Trabajan en Japón y en Corea. Y el parque. Ah, ya se acabó. Bueno, pues echó al agua el Kratos, pero ¿para qué? Va a morir ahí. ¡Otra vez! ¿Otra vez? No manches. No manches. Saúl García. Ian Jones. No manches, que esto es eterno. ¡Au! No puedo ver los comentarios porque no me carga. A ver, dice. Ah, pues sí. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Otra vez? ¿Otra vez los coreanos? Ya se pudo. Has desbloqueado el modo, ¿sabe qué? Ahí está. Venganza completa. Has desbloqueado desafíos, modo caos, atuendos y videos. A ver, vamos a ver los... Oh. Ay, son muchos. Oh. Qué pedo. A ver, ¿qué pasó? Esto ya se convirtió de ser juego a ser una Netflix.
Brat eating and fun. It's gonna be great.
I'm very happy with the way God of War 2 came out. Provided we hit our mark, I was pretty confident that our sales would be better than God of War 1, but I was rather skeptical that our reviews would be. God of War 2, I think at the end of the day, probably equaled, if not slightly exceeded the first, which I was not expecting, and it was quite satisfying.
I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. I deserve this one then.
¿Esto qué tiene que ver con el juego?
Final chapter. So I think big goals for me are to finish this off in such a grand, epic fashion, something that is truly befitting of what we've done, what we've set up in 1 and 2.
All right, this is where we made the story.
God of War 2 ended up being everything we ever hoped it would be, and probably a bit more. It got reviewed very well. I honestly feel like it was probably about as good a game as is likely to be made on the PS2, and I'm very proud that we managed to do that.
Oh, one big family here at SCA.
Cody Barlow.
Once you start something, you gotta finish it. So that's the way I look at things. God of War 3 is gonna be the conclusion to the story. My hope is to make the best effects I can on the last one.
When I think of God of
¿Qué
War,
pedo?
I think of
Eso yo lo
the
jugaba
best
de
action
niño.
platformer out there right now. I think other games and other companies look at us and go, how are they doing
Que
it?
ahorita van a
How
cantar
can we make
posadas
it
o
like
qué.
them? And that's rad, because I've totally been at the company where we looked at that game and went, man, how do we do that, you know?
Así grito cuando voy al baño.
My main hope is that it escapes the destiny of sequels as well as God of War 2 has escaped the destiny of sequels.
I would be satisfied if we tied it all
as
up
well
and
as
we can kind of close the book. We're past the stage of figuring out what we want to do. We're now in the early
Vamos a
phases
crear un
of
loop de sonido.
filling out the how we're going to do it. We're satisfied with sequels as well as we can kind of
Vamos a crear un loop de sonido.
We're satisfied with sequels as well as we can kind of
Corey Barlog, who's our creative director, has given us 2-week notice.
Next Friday will be my last day at Sony Santa Monica. The bomb was dropped.
¿Qué?
It was somber and everyone was quiet and no one said anything.
¿Esto qué? Ya, cállese.
We're over here at Leo's desk, and we're just, you know, you want to say hi?
¿Por qué está muy aburrido? Motion capture. Parece programa de History Channel de...
Tengo 3 pesos. Esos bastardos me mintieron.
We're in San Diego this week capturing mocap
sí, ese
for
pelonazo.
cinematics. Stigmeti and I came down here about 4 months ago just to tour the facilities. It's really impressive down here, actually. It's a big stage. They do full body mocap. They can do hands and faces down here, and they have a ton of crazy toys. It's amazing that we have this facility that Sony owns that is basically at our disposal.
fondo
And the
el
teams here are
Socom.
really great. We're suiting up.
Getting her suited up for the
Socom, el de
Velcro
los
custom suit we get
soldaditos.
made specifically for motion capture. We have some colored panels on there just to accentuate the actors when they're out there, just to make sure that we can see exactly what's going on instead of having an all black
camarógrafo, que se
suit
le
with the
perdió.
all black floor. And this is the Gumby suit.
Ready to mocap.
Mocap is basically markers in space that are seen by cameras. They're calibrated to be able to be triangulated into a certain point in space.
It really serves as kind of a basis for us to layer animation on top of.
Está muriéndose el mono de al lado.
My shades on. This is how we do LA mocap.
Se estaba muriendo.
Body twist, ankle and knee.
Tenía cara de muerto.
Or the range of motion, where we show
Ya se parecía un esqueleto.
body so that the computer can track our markers. Gaia and Titans are going to be climbing up Mount Olympus, so this is our Mount Olympus right there. Don't try this at home, kids.
As much as I've directed before was with my little sister and my little brother when we were kids, and our parents had the video camera. But it's fun. I think if you know what to do and you can communicate with
Es el que se
people
está muriendo
honestly,
ahorita.
and you know what you want, they love it, and people are having fun if you are. Ariel, we're going to do the following now?
We're not necessarily as concerned with perfection in really subtle movements because we know that that subtle animation is going to be done by the animators in-house. As long as
Está
we can see the
muriendo,
character
está
there, then
muriendo.
we're getting what we want.
This is the real-time feed of the actual character of the motion capture being done. So you're actually seeing like a stick figure, but it's actually a skeletal figure of Richard, the actor, being out there.
You don't see your feet in that shot, so it doesn't really matter where they are. And break your symmetry if you can, so both arms aren't exactly the same.
Rolling.
¿Y para qué grita?
That was good.
Yeah, what you're actually seeing here is the mocap actor actually driving the Gaia character in real
Cuerpo
time.
tan sensual.
You're down?
It's definitely amazing technology.
Take 2, ready. Rolling. All right, good, thank you.
Este parece de PS2.
Eddie is doing well. He's been a great director. Definitely knows the shot he wants, and he gets it.
El censurado.
We sit at a desk all day, and I also like to move around. I think as a director, you should be able, to a certain degree, to do what your actors are doing. So you know what you can show them if you have to, and I don't know, you get closer to their performance.
Ah, caray, ¿qué pasó?
Don't ever put that in the making of video.
This is actually a first for me to do motion capture on a bed with pillows.
We are working on the
sex
mini game with Aphrodite. So we'll have 2 of the girls today, just doing both the parts of the servant girls and Aphrodite, which we have blocked out.
Eso
so
sí me
it should be an
interesa.
interesting afternoon. If we have time tomorrow afternoon, maybe we'll put Betty in a suit because there are some things I'm sure.
If I'm going to do that, I'd rather do it now to do the sex mini game with Ava and Michelle.
¿Qué pedo?
Well, I'm not directing you if you get in a suit, that's all I
I'll
gotta
direct
say.
from the bed.
Yeah.
I'll be Aphrodite, I'll be like, you touch me here, you put your leg there. Yes. Let's do take 55.
Qué educativo. Qué educativo.
Kratos, it's been far too long. Even though you are no longer the god of
El pelón tratando de contenerse. Diciendo, no, no.
Come, Kratos. Let us forget all about Zeus for a while.
You know I cannot.
Ah, is that what has you all worked up? You are trying to figure out that bridge contraption out there. Please do not deny me this one last pleasure.
That was great. Cut.
Ah, is that what has you all worked
Ah,
up?
caray.
You are trying to figure out that bridge contraption out there. You men and your toys.
Exactly. That's good.
I think for casting for this, Betty found people who were good with their body in terms of motion.
We picked actors that had to be comfortable with a little bit of
Ajá,
stuff
el pelón
and a little
sensual.
bit of naughty work.
Bien emocionado el
I think
chinito.
everything went really smoothly.
And then we got really lucky because all the actors turned out to be great people and they got along really well. So there's a really good atmosphere.
We went out to dinner last night and had a great time, like just talking and talking about mocap and cinematics and video games, and it's just really nice to be somewhere where people appreciate
Se
all the
está
work that
muriendo
goes
en
into
esa
it.
ahí. Qué pedo. Achis, achis, esto no es para niños.
I love brainstorming. That's one of the best things about games. Right from the beginning, it's
just a creative process.
Yeah, it's fun.
What happened to the original concept art for Poseidon? No, the concept art for Titan, a water Titan.
Can we bring it up on here? Yeah, that's fucking sweet. That's really fucking cool.
He's even got the tentacles. Whatever we come up with, it's like, hey, that would be cool if we could, and we just make it form out of water, whatever it might be.
A lot of talented people were sitting in that room figuring out, oh, this would be cool, this would be neat, throwing out all these ideas out, doing our best to trying to live up to God of War 1.
No, esto no. Ya se acabó. Vamos a ver los atuendos. Los enemigos que hacen un cuarto del daño. Deimos, el hermano de Kratos. Ay, qué curioso se ve. Tiene los ojos negros. Pues ya se acabó. Vamos a poner a Deimos. A ver, vamos a intentar algo. No, pues es que ya se acabó todo. Solo para ver cómo se ve el Deimos. No se cambió, tiene que ser partida nueva. ¿Ya está muerto? Sí, ya se murió. Dale, 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 no pierdas el tino. Pues ya se acabó.